Hi, Paul here. In this video I'm going to cover how to create a page for your business, a Facebook page. Now if you've come into WebWiser as an existing business, then quite possibly you've already got a Facebook page, but if not, I'm going to cover it very quickly here, and I will also show you a major change that's occurred in Facebook, which is generally or is certainly for the better, because it gives you the capability very easily to get people off Facebook and onto your website. So let's get going. Two ways to start the page creation process. You can go to your browser and put facebook.com/pages/create, or alternatively from your personal profile you can come to this little arrow up here and click create page, and then you get to this standard Facebook page creation area with the 6 options that you see here. The differences between them, Facebook doesn't really ever explain it very well, but the differences come down to what appears on your Facebook page, the information that's available there. For instance, on this first one, local businesses or place, as the name implies, that is ideal if you have some business or organization that you expect people to come and visit, and the kind of additional information you get to fill in on your page is stuff like your opening hours. You can put in an address which will place a map on the page for you, your parking arrangements, all of that kind of stuff becomes optional if you select that kind of business type. Now this type here, it's still for businesses and organizations and institutions that have addresses that people might want to visit, but it's not so focused on that. And well, let's just take a look at you can, by the way, you can change all this afterwards, after the event. So if you decide you've picked the wrong one, you can change it, so it's not a showstopper. Let's have a look at this to start with. If we click on the down arrow there, we can see the kinds of places that they reckon would be suited to this. See, doctors, educational establishments, concert venues, and so on. This one, let's have a look. Use the same kinds of things, you know, government organisation, health and beauty, and the rest, but just slightly less information turns up on the page. Brand or product, well, Coca-Cola is a brand. If you've just come up with a new software and you want to get the word out there, then that's a brand, obviously. Here, clearly if you're an artist or a public figure or a band, that would be for you. But if you're a local business, I mean, I know a couple of business coaches, for instance, and the business coaches tend not to make their business as prominent as themselves, their personalities, because they are the coach, they're the person that they want people to know about, so they brand themselves that way, and this would be the selection for them. This would be entertainment, would be for, you know, radio station, libraries, local teams, amateur sports teams, you would select that one. This last one is a bit hazy. Cause or community, and it doesn't really, there's no pull down menu, it just asks for a name, and then it says maybe create a Facebook group instead. So they seem a bit unsure about that, and you may think to yourself, well, actually I run a charity, so that's clearly the one for me. But actually, if you click on this one here and look at the pull down, they have NGOs, non-profit organisations in there. So this would probably be the one for a charity, not the other. Now I said I'd just take a look at some of the things that turn up when you select one over the other, and I'll show you how you can change from one to the other. So if we go into, this is an old redundant Facebook page. Here we are in the admin area, so I get these buttons here that you wouldn't see if you visited the page normally, because I have administration rights over this page. Now if you go to settings and go to page information, you get these areas that you can fill in, information that you can fill in that will appear on the page. Now you notice this is set up as a local business type, so this is the bricks and mortar place that you can visit, and here are those sections that I was telling you about. Hours, parking arrangements is here, various other stuff that relates to local business types. But here is where you can change the type of organization that you have. I was finding this wasn't working terribly well earlier, but it's meant to work. So we could change this from a local business to a brand or product, and then I would have to say it's a website and save changes and see if my options change. Yeah, look, there's a mission statement, information about my products, but the stuff about parking is gone. And can I fill in an address? Yeah, I can still fill in an address. But anyway, I think I've made the point. There are differences in the information that you can fill in according to the page type that you choose. Right, so let's go back to the page creation process. Let's say that we're this type. So we'll choose a category. Let's go for health and beauty and get started. Oh, I've got to put a company name in there. So let's call it, we've got to come up with a unique name. So the other one was called Mighty Merlin. So let's call this Mighty Merlin 95 and get started. So my first question is, tell people what your page is about. Now it's a good idea before you start to create a little asset package somewhere where you can grab these chunks of information. Not much of this gets asked, by the way, in the page creation stage. That comes in later. But anyway, tell people what your page is about. So I'm just going to copy that out and drop it in there. And I'm going to tell it that my website is Mighty Merlin 95. I can delete this page afterwards. I'm not creating any problems for anybody. And save the info. And then it asks me for the profile picture. This would usually be, if you're branding yourself or a product, it would be a picture of you or your product, or if it's a company, it would be your logo. So I'm going to upload from my computer and find the right image. So I'm just going to use this bottle of pills here. I'll select this, and that's uploading. I'll say next. It says, do you want to add this as a favorite? So this will be a favorite that goes somewhere over on the left of my personal profile so that I can find this page easily. So I'll click and then click next. Then it's inviting me to start advertising with them, which I clearly don't want to do at this stage, so I'm skipping that. And now it creates a page for me. Now the next thing to do, and it's now giving me some hints and tips, getting around everything you need to manage your page in these 3 tabs. That's true, that's where you administer the page from, and you only see these tabs if you've got administration rights over a page. Show support for the work you've done setting up your page by liking it. Well, if you like it now, if I liked it, it will go live, and I don't want that to happen. See up front the most important information you need to know about your page. Well, I have no option but to click next. Now it's inviting me to build an audience, in other words, to invite my friends to come along and like it. I don't want to do that. And here is the page created. Now, another little tip is that you should really get page graphic designers to do your profile image and your cover page, but your cover photo. But if you don't have that available, you can go to fiverr.com, fiverr.com, and this is a fun website. You can get all sorts of things done for $5. But I've saved a favorite. Let me sign in. Now I could just have put in the box Facebook photo design, and a bunch of designers would come up, but I found this one here. So if I click on it, we can see some of the designs that she'll do. First of all, let's see how much she charges. You really, although it's called fiverr.com and you can get an awful lot of things done for $5, she'll do a matching set of Facebook, Twitter, Google Plus and so on for $20. She may do the Facebook design for $5, but 10-15 quid if you're stuck. And here are some of her designs. Let's just go through. There we are. So that looks good for a few dollars. I would be happy to use her services probably. She's probably a lot better than I am at design. So there's that. That's one option. Or another option for DIY is here, canva.com, canva.com, and as you can see they have all these templates set up for you, so you could go into Facebook cover design, and again this would cost a few dollars. I didn't look at the price if I'm honest, but it is just a few dollars. And again they've got some some suggestions for you to start with. Here is one cover design, and if I click on it I start getting the options to edit it, which I don't want to do. But canva.com or fiverr.com are places where you can get these cover designs done cheaply. So going back to my create page area, there it is. That's what I've got so far. Now this is what I wanted to show you in this video. If I go to add a cover photo, upload photo, and I'm going to choose one that I'm working on for the WebWiser website. When I say I'm working on it, it's not right by any means, but I might end up starting off with it. Here we go. So what you notice here, look what I've written on this, written into this cover design. Over 30 free videos, free training to help get your business noticed on the web. Click here. Now, it was the case that you couldn't put very much text. It was just a few months ago. You couldn't put much text, and you still shouldn't put a lot of text on your cover photo. But you weren't allowed to put things like click here or buy now either. But now you seem to be able to get away with it. So that's a key thing. If I say save changes, that's a key piece of information, because you now have the opportunity to get people off your Facebook page and onto your website, where you have a lot more control over what happens. So if I click on this now, imagine I'm visiting this page and I respond to this click here. I click on it and I get taken to this area. There's no description at the moment, but if I click on add description, go back down to my little asset thing, cover description, grab that, go back in here, I can drop the description in and say I'm done editing. It does something funny here. It tells me that I've specified a date earlier than the creation date, but it doesn't matter. I can cancel out. I click out of here. Now if I click on this, it takes me in there. I've got this descriptive information. Mighty Merlin Supplements supplies a range of health supplements that have been tested to work in the fields of weight loss and sporting performance. Find us at, and I've put the BBC website in, but if I click on it, I go to where the link is supposed to take me. So that's a key, crucial piece of information. Facebook has changed. You can now go and have a link right there in your cover picture, and you can get people out of Facebook and onto your home page. So that concludes this video. Hope it's been useful, and I'll see you in the next one.